All right, let's just jump right in. Imagine for a second, what if the internet had been built for money from the very beginning? I don't mean for data or emails, but for pure value. Well, that's the massive idea we're going to unpack today. It's called Circle's Arc, and it's this incredibly ambitious project to create, well, basically a true operating system for all of global finance. So let's just really lean into that question for a moment. I mean, think about it. The internet is amazing for connecting us with information, right? But what if it had this native, built-in layer, designed from the ground up just for finance, a universal OS for money? What would that even change? What would that look like? Well, that's exactly the vision that Circle has for its project Arc. And look, they're not just trying to launch another blockchain here. They're aiming to build what they're calling the economic operating system for the internet. I mean, that is a huge, huge claim. So let's dig in and see what's really backing that up. Okay, before we even get into the nuts and bolts of the technology, you have to see this list. I mean, just look at these names. This is who is already building on Arc, and it's just in its test phase. We're not talking about a couple of cool startups here. We're talking about BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Visa, Mastercard. These are literally the titans, the biggest names in global finance. To have this kind of heavyweight backing before the thing is even fully launched, that's what makes this whole story so incredibly important to watch. All right, so with that unbelievable lineup of partners, what's the actual vision here? Let's break down what it really means to create a new OS for money. And this quote from Jeremy Allaire, the CEO of Circle, just hits the nail on the head. He says Arc is purpose-built to connect every local market to the global economy. So you see, this isn't just about making payments a little bit faster. It's way bigger than that. It's about building a fundamental new layer that plugs everybody, everywhere, directly into the global financial system. And just to try and wrap our heads around the scale of this, let's think about that number. The companies we just saw, BlackRock, Visa, all of them, they collectively manage hundreds of trillions of dollars in assets and payments. I mean, it's a mind-boggling amount of money. If you move even a tiny, tiny fraction of that onto a single, unified network, you would fundamentally rewrite the rules of finance as we know it. Period. Okay, so we've got the huge vision, we've got the massive backers, but how does this thing actually work? Let's dive into the tech, and I promise, we'll keep it simple. So at its very core, Arc is what's called a Layer 1 blockchain. Now, the absolute easiest way to think about this is like a brand new digital highway system. It's the foundational road itself, right? It's where all the financial traffic happens and gets settled. And just like a real highway, developers can come in and build all the other stuff. The on-ramps, the off-ramps, the rest stops, those are the apps, all built right on top of this main road. All right, so if Arc is the highway, how do you pay the tolls? You know, every transaction on a blockchain has a small fee, and it's usually called gas. Now, here's the clever part. Instead of using some crazy volatile crypto coin where the price is all over the place, Arc uses USDC. That's Circle's own stablecoin, which is pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. And this is so important. It means all the fees on the network are predictable and dollar-based. That's a total game changer for big financial institutions that need stability. And this comparison right here, this really just sums up the whole argument. On the left, you've got the old way, the system we all use now. It's slow, transactions take days to settle, the fees are high and unpredictable, and it's only open during banking hours. On the right, you have the Arc way. We're talking near instant settlement. Low, predictable fees. It's on 24/7, 365, and it's one single unified network. It is quite literally a night and day difference. So we get the tech now, right? But how does all this theory actually connect the global economy? Let's take a look at some of the real-world applications that are being built on Arc as we speak. And check this out. This is a perfect example of that global vision in action. Right now, on the Testnet, there are already stablecoins for the Japanese yen, the Brazilian real, the Mexican peso, the Philippine peso, and more are coming. So this makes it super clear. This isn't just a US dollar system. No, it was designed from the ground up to be a multi-currency network right from day one. So what can you actually build with all this? Well, these are the core building blocks right here. And we're talking about the absolute pillars of finance. Things like global payments and foreign exchange, lending and capital markets, tokenizing real-world funds. It's basically all the essential plumbing you would need to construct an entirely new financial system. Okay, so that's what's happening right now. But what about the future? What's next on the roadmap? Let's see what Circle's plan is to actually make all of this a reality. The roadmap they've laid out has 3 pretty clear stages. So stage 1 is where we are right now, the public testnet with more than 100 institutions already building and testing things out. Stage 2 is really interesting. They're integrating AI, specifically Anthropic's Claude AI, to make it even easier for developers to build on the platform. And then stage 3, and honestly this is the most crucial part, the long-term goal is to hand over control, to transition ARK into a fully decentralized network that's run by its own community. So when you take a step back and look at all of this, the incredible vision, the underlying tech, the absolutely massive partners, it really leaves you with one big question. Are we witnessing the moment where traditional finance and Web3 stop competing and actually start building the future together? You know, this might not be a story about one system replacing another. It could be the beginning of a true collaboration, and that could change everything.